Please welcome Chief Executive Officer, Varonis, Yaki Faitelson.
Hi. It's great to see everyone. I'm Yaki Faitelson. I'm the CEO and founder of Varonis. I'm sure we have a lot of F1 fans here in the room, and many that watch the Netflix series Drive to Survive and the F1 movie with Brad Pitt. Formula One made a big decision recently. They required that every team will go 50% fuel and 50% electric. This change didn't land very well with many of the drivers. The control and inputs they mastered for so many years are not working the same. I personally never drove an F1 car, but I would imagine it's like going from Windows to Unix. But here is the thing. The race doesn't stop. The teams must adapt quickly to be in the race, and the ones that will not do it will fall behind. In our industry, we are undergoing a much, much bigger shift, and it's a race, in many ways, a race to survive. The security model, and actually all the software stack as we know it, wasn't built for the new AI stack. And the AI stack is fast becoming the only stack that organizations are going to use. With that, it's also critical to understand that all enterprise security was built on controls of humans interacting with applications through a user interface. This is how things are working. In the new models, users create AI agents that call API or access data directly and take automated actions in a non-deterministic way. Essentially what it means, you can go to an agent, instruct it, give it the same instruction twice, and get completely different actions. And what happens is that this completely collapses the application layer and the way that organizations are going to create and consume data. Every SaaS application is going to reduce to a store for agents, whether they like it or not. The workloads, and therefore the security controls, need to move to the data and the agent layer. Think about it for a second. This is a monumental shift with the way everything is architected today. Many agents are going to be directly connected to your databases, emails, and file systems without even any application API. No middleware, just an agent with a goal and a direct connection to your most critical data. So I don't want to date myself, but I'm in this IT business for almost 3 decades, and this is a rate of change in order of magnitude we have never seen before. In some way, I participated in every major change in the last 25 years, and the stack used to change every 5 to 6 years. Now, it changes every 5 to 6 days. Now, think about it. What is happening when a trend is just changing in front of you? This is always a very risky situation with massive opportunity. We call this the innovation gap. What is the innovation gap? It is the distance between how fast AI is evolving and how fast security and governance need to keep up. And at this point, this gap is widening every single day. And the other thing is, you can't say no anymore. The AI train has left the station. And like the F1 drivers, We have to figure out everything on the fly to stay in the race. Your business leaders are not asking for permission. Your knowledge workers need these tools yesterday, and your competitors are not stopping. We are not longer the gatekeepers, a security professional. We are the people that everyone is relying on to make sure the organization can adapt this new amazing technology safely and fast. So I'm sure that if I will ask you for the last 3 months, if you will reflect really on this all AI journey and what happened here for the love of God in the last 3 months. And I'm sure what you heard more than anything else is how can we accelerate our AI transformation? You heard this message so many times, but what exactly it means? So I'm working with hundreds of CISOs and CIOs on their AI security journey. And I managed to distill the challenge, the AI adoption challenge, into one sentence. How do we connect our company's full universe of knowledge to LLMs and agents without compromising security and trust? Think about it for a second. Again, if you take your all agentic framework and you need to make sure that it will be valuable, what do you need to do? You need to connect it to LLMs and agents without compromising security and trust. When everything's said and done, this is our charter. More than anything else, this is what we need to do. Think about it for a second. The public foundation models that we all use all the time and works unbelievably well, Claude, GPT, Gemini, are really, in some aspects, are smarter than any human on the planet. Why? Because essentially they have read the entire internet. Take the cheapest LLM, connect it to the right business data. It's not just a tool, it's an employee. And if you set it up correctly, it can be the employee of the year. But organizations have connected only 3% of their data estate to the new AI technology. Think about it. How many of you connected more than 3% of the data into AI? On one side, people are using AI rapidly, agents, models, and everything. But there is a massive barrier. You can't connect it to the data because we are trying to mitigate risk. And by doing that, we are robbing AI from the fuel it needs. This is the 3% paradox. If you move too fast without controls, AI will kill you. And if you move too slow, AI will kill you as well. So if securely connecting data to AI is the goal, so what is standing in our way? There are 3 barriers. First, securing the data itself, making sure that only the right data reaches the right agents and models. Second, securing the AI systems and agents, knowing what is running, what it is doing, and whether it has been compromised. And third, fighting an adversary who now has the same tools, but they don't have compliance and then don't have guardrails, they are just using it. So let me discuss each one of these challenges. The first barrier is data overexposure. AI is pushing your access control to its limits almost every time it works. Most AI agents inherit whatever access the user already has, and those permissions are always too broad. To put things into perspective, if you don't have a data security platform like ours, usually a non-human or a human identity, more than 90% of the data it can access, it's not relevant for it. More than 90%. Think about your organization and you will see that I'm right. So what is the classic example? A user using Copilot for a simple question. Gets back legal data, M&A data, salary data, PAI, data that it should never access and should never see, should never get, but before Copilot, you could never find it. In the old stack, what happened? Human needs to log in, navigate into a file, download it, do something with it, so it needs to have a lot of energy or to be completely malicious, to use some search engine to get to something he shouldn't get. Now, using this agentic technology, you will get it in every query. Not only that, it's also going to create completely new data. And if you will not be careful, data with the wrong integrity, the wrong data set, it can be a disaster. So in the agentic world, an agent can access your entire data estate in seconds. It's like a Pac-Man from hell. And if the agent doesn't have permissions, he will try to get them. So I'm see with a lot of organizations, you have an agent, he doesn't have access to data, it's asking another agent to retrieve the data for it. And the organizations that are having success to break this 3% paradox are going much beyond identity and access management. The new stack requires data-level permission visibility and runtime guardrails. It's not enough to know if access is authorized. It's almost meaningless. It's important, but it will not solve the problem. You need to know if it's appropriate, given the intent of the agent and the context of the data. The second barrier is securing the AI systems themselves. So let me give you just a very concrete example. So the Varonis Threat Labs discovered a vulnerability in Microsoft Copilot. It's one-click exploit that bypassed the safety controls and allow attackers to exfiltrate anything the user have ever shared with Copilot. PII, your pet's name, medical information, anything. So just very simple attack. You get a phishing message with a URL from a legitimate domain, copilot.com. Embed the URL into the prompt. The link is legitimate. The payload isn't. So the injected prompt doing a complex task and doing it twice. The first time, stopped by the guardrails. In the second time, it slips through. And then the bad actors get all the information. So this three-prompt attack can show you how you can exploit the vulnerabilities in the AI system, but also what happens when attackers are going to weaponize their own AI tools. Well, we don't need to guess. Back in September, a group of Chinese state actors using Cloud Code to break into major corporations and government with almost no human intervention, completely autonomous. Click the button, went to sleep, and wake up in the morning with backdoors to dozens of organizations. So jailbreaking consumer AI is one thing, but attackers, they also have their own black market of tools. Our team recently tracked a group of threat actors using a phishing kit called Spider-Man. It lets attackers clone the login page of every major bank in Europe. No coding skill required. It costs a few €100, and they are distributing it through Signal and Telegram. And here is the thing. AI-powered phishing don't just target humans. They also target agents. Agents read email, Slack, and team messages. One human clicking on the wrong link is one identity compromised. You have thousands of agents. You increased exponentially your social engineering attack surface. So these three barriers together, overexposed data, unsecure AI systems, and AI-powered adversaries create a deadly combination. And this is what is stopping us from adopting this technology. So what can we do? Because the race is not stopping. We need to start from the inside out. First and foremost, secure the data itself. Know what you have. Structured, unstructured, semi-structured application data. Use AI to classify it for sensitivity, context, and staleness. And then you need to decide if to feed it to AI or not. Right-size it. Fix it. Right-size permission, label sensitive data, and mask it wherever appropriate. You cannot do it manually. Remediation must be automated and AI-driven. And this is the holy grail of using AI in a safe way. Alert on it. Monitoring who and what is accessing your data. You need machine learning models with the right ingredients that can detect abnormal behavior exactly like your bank detects credit card fraud. If a weather forecasting agent is accessing 10,000 HR records in 2 a.m. in the morning, you better know about it. Find, fix, and alert is how you govern your data layer. The second thing, secure the AI systems themselves. You need an inventory. You need to know every model, every agent, every pipeline running in your environment, including the one that your developer just spun up last Tuesday without telling anyone. You need to examine their posture, what data they are touching, what permissions they have, are they vulnerable? You need runtime guardrails, blocking malicious inputs before they reach the model, filtering sensitive data from responses, and denying agent access to tools they have no business using. And the third thing, fight the AI-powered adversaries. If you will dissect the last big 100 breaches, malware wasn't installed on a machine. The holy grail now is to do a lot of social engineering, to take an identity, session token, and then to get into the data. Just the anatomy of attacks changed completely. And a lot of them, as you know, are supply chain attacks that coming from a trusted source. We see that the volumes of very sophisticated phishing attacks grew 200% in the last 3 months because things like Spider-Man phishing kit make it possible. So our data scientists build an AI-powered phishing sandbox, the same thing that we were doing for malware, but this is now the attack vector that matches the scale of these attacks. We are just looking at millions of URLs a day and making sure that this is not bad action, zero trust. We use computer vision and NLP to determine whether the website is malicious. We simulate the user action. We're clicking on links, filling forms. If anything suspicious, the website is blocked, even if it's a trusted website. Remember, the truth is in the payload, and most of the attacks will come from a trusted source. These 3 layers only work when they are connected. An AI inventory, an agent inventory with no visibility into what data they are touching, you know what is running, you don't know what it is doing. An AI firewall with not accurate data classification, maybe it blocks too much or too little. The signals that matters live across all 3 layers. None of them alone is sufficient anymore. And together, they give you the ingredients you need to protect the new AI stack. Folks, AI changed everything. Big part of my professional life I devoted to build a data security platform that protects the world's data. Data, more than ever before, is our most valuable resource and our most vulnerable resource. Since I started Varonis, the volume and velocity has changed, but the mission didn't. My co-founder and I knew that it would be impossible for humans to control data risk without tremendous automation. Now we are in another inflection point, and only AI can defend against AI risk. When you trust your brakes, you can drive much faster. When you have the right guardrails, data and AI will become a force multiplier and not a breach waiting to happen. With the right controls that build on the AI stack, and this needs to be fundamental controls, because the worst thing that can happen is that the controls need to run as fast as on AI on the other side. We just need controls that are constantly working and are self-healing and ahead of every problem. If we have these controls, there is very high probability that we can use this tremendous technology to create prosperity in the right way. Thank you so much.